Hey, Valerie.
Hey, how's it going, Leah? Right, can you hear me?
Yeah,
Oh, my goodness. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
It's been a crazy week.
It's weird
Yeah.
because this week went by really slow for me.
hmm
Thing.
What was that?
I didn't accomplish as much as I wanted to. Is what went
Personally or
slow with well, I didn't finish editing last week's video. I didn't work on any music. I didn't write anything. So personally, yeah, I didn't accomplish anything.
that was pretty much my week.
Hmm.
The only thing that I did was I ended up having dinner with my friend Juliana anyway.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah, just I hadn't seen her in over a year.
Hmm.
And just to touch base and
Yeah, I ended up going skating with my niece.
mhm. Where'd
Yeah.
you guys go?
We just went to the beach.
Uh-huh. Which one?
Redondo.
Okay. Oh, Redondo. I haven't been down there in a while.
Ooh, oh wow, they're tennis shoes on. They're high tops. I
Yes.
love those. I actually kind of like those better than mine.
They're very they're very
Lightweight.
substantial. I won't say,
Oh, okay.
I mean, they're like a nice size. They're like a regular sneaker.
Mm-hmm.
It's not flimsy. They look like they'll hold up well with the ankles.
Yeah.
So I was gonna put them on, but then Tony read the paper and it said, make sure all the bolts are tightened. And I haven't had a
Oh,
chance to like really tighten them
I
up yet.
actually loosened mine a little.
You loosen?
Well, the middle part to make
Yeah,
them more
right,
so I can
right.
see better. So here's what mine look
Ooh,
like.
hoo, hoo. Yes, those are cute. I can't wait. You've already been skating. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I didn't prepare anything this week.
I just wrote something down in the last minute.
I was going to do the same thing too. Yeah, I was just talking to a mom about how these young people are paying so much for college and then they end up in a job where most people, with a college degree are not making six figures.
Mm-hmm.
And so with all the emphasis on leave no child behind and all that stuff and go to college and get a college education, and then kids end up spending so much money on the education, and is it paying off? Is the education in line with the demand for jobs in the future? And I think a lot of kids don't think about the correlation between what they're majoring in and what are the needs of
Yeah.
society in the next 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just a good time for the trades with this whole
Yeah.
infrastructure bill that Biden is pushing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like,
That's what we're all gearing up for.
oh yeah,
Mm-hmm.
especially in LA, we got the Olympics coming in. What is it, 2028? Yeah, I think it's 20 because I don't think we're getting the 20. Are they pushing all of the Olympics out because we missed 2020?
That's what I'm wondering. Well,
Oh,
I know
that's
this year's Japan, right?
yeah,
And it was supposed to be last year.
2020. Yeah,
So
summer
then we're looking
2020.
at 2024. Yeah, you're right. 2028.
Yeah, because I think Brazil, are they getting 24?
I don't remember.
Yeah,
Wasn't Rome?
maybe
I'm
it,
probably completely wrong.
yeah. I just know we got skipped over for another. I think we have to wait till 2028.
Oh, okay.
So they're going to be doing. That's probably one reason why they're
Mhm.
focusing on the homeless issue right now because they want the city pristine by 2028, and it's going to take some time to get that whole issue.
And not just that, homelessness is bad. I
It
was
is. It's
driving down.
horrible.
Yeah, the whole like over on Washington and Venice off of the 405. That
Yeah.
whole underpass is full. I've never seen it like that.
Yeah, it's wild. I mean, you'll see entire shacks under the freeway, like literally a
Mhm.
20-foot long structure that, I don't people are living in.
Yeah. Whole towns of people,
Oh, I
like,
know.
homeless.
Yeah, so it's gonna be interesting just to see how that whole phenomenon evolves as they try to get people off the street.
Mhm. What are we gonna do? I wish I could do something. All I can do is, like, help feed them every once in a while or give them some blankets, but other than
Yeah.
that.
I mean, people have a lot of issues. Just thinking about myself, and like I feel like I'm pretty normal, but everyone has like their dark secrets or their little issues, little quirks that they develop as they're growing up, things that they deal with mentally or emotionally. And I could just
Mhm.
imagine if I couldn't take care of myself financially, how that would manifest. Sometimes I feel like we're all like on the edge of losing
Yeah.
losing our minds. Ah, I
Mhm.
just can't take it. Oh
I know.
man,
Our brain is powerful.
it is definitely powerful. That's what I want to do. I want to utilize more power, more brain power.
Mhm.
One question I was going to ask you, are you are you spiritually grounded?
Um, like, as in, have I grown like, was I raised with a spiritual background or am I grounded now?
Well, both.
Well, my dad's Portuguese, so the Portuguese people are very Catholic.
Hmm.
So I was raised Catholic. So I went through the whole First Communion and confirmation and everything that they go through. And then as I got older, I had to take my dad to church every Sunday because when he couldn't drive, that was my duty to take him.
Hmm.
And the Catholic Church, I can find peace going to church when nobody's there. I
Hmm.
I feel like I can go there and I can pray and I can reach some kind of communication with God, quote
Hmm.
unquote, because I don't believe God is the way people have described him to be
Right.
in the Western world.
Right.
So spiritually, I try to connect with something internal because I know that we need it. And I was just talking to Nia about it today, how even scientifically studies show that people who are religious, who pray, tend to live longer and healthier lives because of what our brain does during that time, during
Right.
our prayer or meditation, whatever you want to call it. I feel like
Hmm.
it does benefit us physically. So
Right.
I wouldn't say that I'm totally grounded in any faith, but I do try to at least lead a life of, kindness and goodness and
Hmm.
as much as possible, humanly possible.
Right.
How about you?
I was raised in the Baptist church, going to church every Sunday as a child, for the first, I think, 8 years of my life.
Hmm.
So where we went consistently, and then after my parents split up, it was more sporadic. But I do have wonderful memories of, because my mom and her siblings, they all grew up in the same town. So we all went to the same church, and then after church, all the cousins would go to my grandmother's house and play, and we would do like the Christmas programs and the Easter programs and all of that. And even when I was 16, I got baptized, but always in the back of my mind, just listening to the teachings, it never made logical sense to me. So I always felt like, even when I was getting baptized, even though I was like, you know, wanting to believe and trying to believe and taking that leap of faith, I almost felt like a fraud. And then when I got into college, I start learning about other philosophies, and I was always questioning, always just trying to find the truth. And even today, as I understand a more abstract idea of God as spirit and not necessarily tied to a particular religion,
Mhm.
I feel like there's no strong foundation to what I practice, because I do meditate, I do give thanks and have gratitude, but I feel like it's not solid. Like it's always shifting to me, and I don't know if that's good or if it's bad. Not having like a solid strong belief system, but just kind of like an idea of what I think God is, and trying to connect to that energy.
Mm.
I don't know if that makes
Mhm.
sense.
Well, it's interesting because with the Ayurveda thing that I've been meeting with Kiona about,
Mhm,
it doesn't have any spiritual basis, but it does talk about the chakras and everything, the energy within ourselves. So
mhm.
she talks about the practice of it, how it shifts because we're always changing. The seasons change, our bodies change. We go from young to old. There's summer, winter, fall. The earth sheds, leaves and then new flowers grow. So
Right, right.
everything's always changing. And I think that it would be natural for our own belief system to also shift.
Wow.
I don't think anything is constant. Everything's always changing. So why would that's where my kind of logic goes. Like, why would there
Mhm.
be one thing that stays the same all the time? Like, if we're everything's changing around us, then why can't this universal power or energy also shift with us while we
Right,
change? So
right. That
that's
makes
what I think.
sense. Yeah, that makes sense. It's almost like when I think back over the course of my life, and just the different phases and epiphanies that I've had about spirituality, it does seem to go in a cycle of where there's intense focus
Hmm.
on spirituality and the practice, and then there's sort of a waning away where it's almost like you have to just kind of take space and time to see if what you were doing is actually working, and are you going to keep those practices in your life.
Hmm.
And before the pandemic, I was in this habit of when I would get up for work, I had this whole routine. I'd get up about an hour before I had to go. I'd do my meditation and then get ready for work. And then it was a whole process.
Hmm.
And then with the pandemic, things became more fluid. I would just wake up with the sun, and it was more relaxed. And so I didn't feel the need to, get up and do the meditation. And so I was thinking, well, am I falling off? Or is it just that I'm meditating in other ways?
Hmm.
So it's interesting.
I think it's the same thing with spirituality because I go through that too, where I feel very strong in faith over a period of time. And then maybe something will happen and I start having doubts. So, and then I have to look for things that'll help strengthen that faith again.
Right.
And then it just goes back to that again. So I think it's just like the weather. It's changing. And I've had moments where I can say that I feel like God was working in my life, where I've prayed and then certain things came into it through prayer.
Hmm.
And those instances make me believe that there is more than just us here. So that's
Right.
why it never goes away, even though it goes up and down.
Hmm.
The faith.
Yeah. And then sometimes I think like that intensity that you go through, you're kind of preparing yourself for when things do go bad, so that you revert back
Mm.
to that habit,
Yeah.
that positive good habit that that can help you get through the tough times. because
Yeah.
that's what happens. Like if I'm just having a particularly bad day,
Mhm.
or just I'll just say, "Oh my God, I need to meditate today." And it's not a chore like it was in the beginning. Like when I first started, I was like, "Oh, 1 minute, okay, 2 minutes. Okay, when is the alarm gonna go off?" And now I can set my alarm and do my meditation. And before I know it, I'm like, dang, it went off already. So, but I don't have to do it every day.
Mhm.
It's like now it's something that I can it's a tool that I can use.
I kind of wanted to talk about how you feel as a parent and a mom, and your kids listening to music. I've never been very strict about censoring their music. Like they can listen to whatever they want, and as long as they know what's right and wrong.
Right.
And I'm wondering how you've been as far as the music that they listen to, as from children till now.
Right. Okay. So when they were smaller children, I guess elementary school age and below, um, they pretty much listened to whatever I listened to, and most of what I listened to was pretty much R&B.
Hmm.
And my husband, he listens to a lot of rap, but back then when they were growing up, so they were kind of exposed to both. What we did not let them watch though were rap videos
Mm.
with all the girls and
Hmm.
the booties and the boobs and all that stuff, because I didn't want my kids to be overly sexualized. And but once they got to middle school, it's a wrap.
Yeah.
So basically, but by then, they pretty much should have a strong sense of what is acceptable
Right.
as they represent the family out in public.
Hmm.
And so they should know that around adults, you don't curse
Hmm.
with your peers. And this is what I tell it, when you're with your peers, that's your business between your peers. But once an adult comes into the equation, you need to adjust yourself and be respectful. And that's kind of like how I've monitored my behavior, is like, when they're young, of course, mommy says this, son, you gotta make this. And then like, and if I'm angry, that's not appropriate behavior, blah, blah, blah. And then as they got older, every once in a while I'm dropping you know, some curse words just to make my point, because I figure by then, they know who I am as a mother, and as a mother, they don't necessarily know me as a person. So as they get older, they get to know mommy in a different dynamic, a little bit at a time.
Hmm.
So because I have been in the music business for over 30 years, cursing I don't curse like all the time, but occasionally, if I'm just joking around and shooting the shit, then, a curse word might fly out of my mouth like it just did. And that's one thing I was going to ask you though. Like, okay, so you have your mommy persona.
Hmm.
Okay. This person. And then Lea, are you is Lea the person aligned with Lea the mom and Lea the musician?
Well, I think with my kids, they've seen me at every, when I'm angry, when I'm sad, when I'm happy, when I'm just being a mom. But I think by now, kind of like you, where, with me and my mom, I've always been careful about like the music that I play, um, things that I say around her. But with my kids, I feel like they're pretty open, and they play any kind of song, no matter what's playing in it. They'll play it out loud because they know I'm not going to say anything, because I've been listening to music their whole life. I'm a musician.
Yeah.
They know that about their mom. that mommy is a musician,
Mhm.
and I've been in bands and they've come watch me play. So I've been around people. I don't smoke weed, but everyone in the music business smokes weed all the time, 24 hours a day. So I think I hope that I'm someone they can come to for anything. So
Yeah. Yeah, it's
about persona though. I think they what they see is what they get pretty
mhm.
much.
Now or always?
um Probably always, because I've
Mhm.
never, since I don't cuss anyway, because I just don't speak that language because it would sound dumb coming from me. I just never have. I've just always talked the same pretty much, I think.
Then I must be a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde type of personality because I feel like because my mom is a teacher and she's very strong in her faith and her Christian faith. She's very strong in her faith. And when we were growing up, unfortunately, I wasn't living with my mom because she was overseas. And so I was living with my dad. But the type of music that we grew up with, you're talking about Cameo, Earth, Wind, and Fire. And so when you're blasting that stuff, it's just there's nothing offensive about it. It's just if it's loud, it just be like, turn that down, it's too loud. But it's not about the content. And like with my kids, like I listen to pretty much everything that they're, when they're listening to it, I'm listening to it. But sometimes if the beat is not good and they're talking all kind of trash, curse words, talking derogatory about women and stuff, I'm just like, no, not today, not right now. I can't take it. Not that one.
I'm trying to think. Naomi and Nia and Jordan, I think their taste in music is pretty mellow.
Mm-hmm.
Naomi listens to a lot of rap, but it's usually like what's his name? Like Kendrick Lamar and that whole crew,
Mm-hmm.
Joey Badass, Isaiah Rashad.
You ain't nothing but a baby. Your fear is growing up. Listen here, I said my dude, and what you call it? It was heaven at the bottom, and peace from throwing up. By the bill, by ill, by boo. My Yara saying you ain't nothing but a baby. Your fear is growing.
They're
Mm-hmm.
all like kind of hip hop rappers. They're not that trap rap.
Mm-hmm.
So
What's wrong, mom? Are you scared? That's what my second says. What's wrong, mom? Are you scared? I'm like, no, I'm not scared. I just don't want to hear it. It's just like it hurts my ears and I just don't want to hear it right now. You have to be who you are. I feel like I just like two people sometimes.
okay, hold on. Let me see if I share it, if you can hear it.
Hey. Okay, I can hear that. Hey. Ha. Taking off without you on a rocket ship to Mars. So tired of being earthbound. Wanna walk amongst the stars. Wanna take the world and know. Wanna be what you wanna be. Wanna make world say. Wanna take the world of me. Let me ride.
I'm Leia.
And I'm Val. And we are
Middle-aged moms.
making
Let me ride. So please
subscribe.